Straight ahead, a story you'll only see on Valley News Live. A mother and first responder rushes to save her 2-year-old son. Why officers say a new law will leave their hands tied when it comes to public safety. Plus, a daughter getting creative, getting a second job in order to see her father in a nursing home. Valley News Live at 10 starts right now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
New tonight at 10, a Valley News Live exclusive. It's a call no first responder wants to take, a call to their own home. It's what happened to a Lisbon first responder last night. Her 2-year-old son is now in a Minnesota hospital with a long road to recovery ahead of him. Valley News team's Courtney Lockie talked with those who helped this mom respond to the call. It's a story.
Some calls are more stressful than others.
18 years as a paramedic, Tuesday's call is one Tim Owen will never forget.
It hit 3 of the really big ones, which is anytime we have a child involved, anytime it's a friend or coworker.
The 20-minute ambulance ride to Enderlin was one that felt like an eternity as he sat next to Shelby Jankowski. The two have helped many people together, but this time the call for help came from Jankowski's home.
I walk in through the door and she's like, "That's my house, that's my son, I gotta go." Jankowski's
2-year-old son, Royce, had been severely burned after his mattress caught on fire. Still, no one knows how it happened.
I was hoping that everything would be okay. I was hoping that Royce would be okay.
By the time Owen and Jankowski got to the home, crews had rescued Royce and put out the fire. Soon after, Royce and mom were flown to a hospital in Minnesota.
She puts forth her free time to volunteer for being a first responder. It's a family that needs help.
Jankowski's husband and 2 other little ones are now with her and Royce in Minnesota. Royce is still sedated and intubated. He'll be having surgery Saturday and Monday, but the road to recovery will be a long one. In Lisbon, North Dakota, Courtney Lockie, Valley News Live.
A GoFundMe has been set up for the family. We have links attached to this story. You can download the VNL News app and click on this story. To another exclusive story tonight, a new deadly force statute in Minnesota has left law enforcement agencies with their hands tied and concerns for both officer and public safety at an all-time high. It centers on a new standard for what qualifies as legal force. Fargo and West Fargo Police, as well as the Cass County Sheriff's Office, say they have suspended all operations in the state of Minnesota for the foreseeable future until they receive the proper training and education on how the new law works.
It's frustrating and concerning. We never want to leave our other law enforcement partners feeling like they're kind of out on their own and we're not able to respond.
I certainly don't want to send one of our officers over there who was involved in a deadly force scenario and is found later, well, you're in violation of Minnesota law and now you're going to be charged with a crime, where if the same situation had happened in Fargo, they would not be charged with a crime.
We have a full breakdown of the new statute posted, and you can find it on our VNL News app. Just click on this story. Scammers are impersonating agents from the Drug Enforcement Administration. The caller is saying your name was used to rent a vehicle that was stopped at the border and contained drugs. Then the caller will ask you to verify your social security number or tells you your bank account has been compromised. In some cases, the caller might threaten you with arrest for the fake drug seizure and tell you to send money through a gift card or wire transfer. Scammers have even gone so far as to spoof legitimate DEA phone numbers or text photos of what appears to be a legitimate law enforcement credential. In your COVID-19 vaccine coverage tonight, in just 2 days, Johnson & Johnson vaccines could be going into the arms of North Dakotans. But today, health experts are saying don't wait for the 1-dose shot. Take whatever you can get as soon as you can get it. Valley News team's Erin Walling has our story.
And I just want to stress that the best COVID vaccine that you can get is the first vaccine that's offered to you.
That's Immunization Director Molly Howell with the North Dakota Department of Health. She's urging residents to get whichever COVID vaccine they can as soon as possible.
You don't really need to worry about shopping for a brand. All of these vaccines are highly effective and safe.
The Department of Health is releasing new information on the vaccine rollout after revealing earlier this week that people from out of state have been receiving doses meant for North Dakotans.
It's actually been a statewide issue when we looked at the data.
Cass County health officials tell us it has been an issue here, and Howell agrees, saying the bigger problem has been out west.
There's a number of providers who have vaccinated out-of-state residents. We specifically pulled data and looked at, we have it by state, but we also looked at Minnesota specifically by different cities because we were okay with Moorhead and East Grand Forks, but we had heard rumors of people coming from Minneapolis, but it was statewide. I mean, even people flying into Bismarck to get vaccinated.
Despite the setback, Howell says the state has infrastructure in place so that every adult that wants the vaccine can be vaccinated by the end of May. In Fargo, Aaron Walling, Valley News Live.
Tonight, Essentia Health says it needs your help to ensure the vaccine is getting out to the community. They're vaccinating any resident who is 65 and older or who has 2 medical conditions. They say there is immediate availability. You can sign up by calling Essentia or by using your MyChart account. And you can stay up to date with the latest COVID vaccine-related information by browsing our VNL vaccine tracker. You can visit our website or simply open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. President Biden is speaking out about last night's strike on U.S. troops in Iraq. U.S. coalition officials say at least 10 rockets were launched at the air base as it hosted American, Iraqi, and coalition forces. The president was asked about the attack during a meeting with lawmakers, and here's what he had to say.
Thank you, guys. We are following that through right now. Thank God no one was killed by the rocket. One individual, a contractor, died of a heart attack. But we're identifying who's responsible, and we'll make judgments from that point.
There have been no reports of casualties or damage. The attack happened less than a week after the U.S. military hit a site in Syria used by 2 Iranian-backed militia groups. That strike was in response to other rocket attacks on American forces in the region in recent weeks. More than 1,000 Minnesota National Guardsmen are being deployed to the Middle East. This includes units from Detroit Lakes and Crookston. An Army spokesperson says about 1,100 soldiers will embark on a 9-month mission. You can catch their deployment ceremony live on their Facebook page this Sunday at 1 p.m. Senate Democratic leaders have struck a deal with the president to give the next round of stimulus payments to fewer people. Every American who files taxes individually and makes up to $75,000 a year would still receive the full $1,400 direct check. Couples filing jointly with incomes up to $150,000 will also continue to get the full payment. Narrowing the eligibility was a change requested by some moderate Democrats in the Senate. The House of Representatives has canceled tomorrow's session due to concerns about possible violence at the U.S. Capitol. Officials alerted lawmakers to a potential threat against the Capitol on March 4th. Conspiracy theorists believe former President Donald Trump will be inaugurated and retake the presidency on March 4th. Security is being enhanced as a precaution. In your legislative watch, North Dakota lawmakers are teaming up with tobacco prevention groups to monitor vape products and shops, which advocates say are largely unregulated. For example, retailers must have a license to sell tobacco products, but not vaping products.
There are no rules and requirements on what has to be in these products. There's no labeling requirements. There's no standards that the industry has to follow in terms of percentage of nicotine or content of flavors.
Some lawmakers say it's not fair to add the regulation and a tax on vapes used by those trying to quit smoking. Meanwhile, researchers are surprised to find vaping one certain substance is much harder on your lungs. We'll bring you that information a little later in the newscast. North Dakota lawmakers were hoping to institute term limits on members of the U.S. House and Senate. The House rejected the resolution, with opponents saying the longer a member of Congress serves, the more benefits the state gets because of seniority. Opponents argue term limits already exist because voters have the final say at the ballot box. Tonight in California, U.S. Customs and Border Protection says all 13 people who died in the SUV crash yesterday are believed to have entered the U.S. illegally less than an hour before. Border Patrol agents are reporting a 10-foot hole in the border fence. Surveillance video captured 2 different vehicles leaving the area where the fence was breached. The crash happened about 30 minutes after agents first discovered the hole. Still ahead, a Minnesota woman decides drastic measures are in order if she wants to see her dad during the pandemic. It's a story you won't want to miss right after the break. But first, our string of nice weather continues as the week rolls on. Hutch joins us right after the break.